City commissioners and Johnson City Convention and Visitors Bureau leaders want answers about the taxpayer-funded CVB's budget. The privately funded Chamber of Commerce controls that budget. Well, months ago, its new chamber director merged the checking accounts and changed accounting software. CVB leaders say since then they have lacked any information needed to create a budget. News Channel 11's Jeff Keeling found out city leaders want a memorandum of agreement to set clear guidelines between the CVB and the chamber.
The CVB Council met last Tuesday. Members pressed Chamber Director Bob Cantler about how much the Chamber was charging the CVB for shared salaries and how much it owed in CVB funds. Council Chair Andy Marquardt led off.
There's no breakdown between how much the CVB is paying its own staff versus the salaries of the Chamber staff. So that is a concern of mine.
Cantler said the Chamber probably had that information and just needed to do the reporting on it. Earlier, he had told News Channel 11 about those breakdowns and suggested part of his salary may be paid by CVB, something that never happened under his predecessor, Gary Mabry.
This portion of the receptionist time is to the CVB. Accounting is shared. My time is shared.
Last week, the CVB finally learned how much the Chamber has borrowed from it, a question members had been asking. Unlike in past years, a balance rolled from 2019 and has grown to an all-time high of $60,000. That's almost 9% of CVB's annual allocation of city hotel-motel tax dollars.
I was very concerned about that, and I asked Bob to kind of explain his ideas for repaying that.
Cantler elected not to share that plan yet, saying it should be part of discussions about the city's memorandum of agreement. As drafted, that MOA prohibits the CVB from loaning money.
We may come out with a different strategy of how to make sure we do that. Because I think we can do the MOU, the budget layout, and the payback all in the same conversation.
City Commissioner John Hunter attended last week's meeting and said clarity and specifics on shared costs are essential, including whether Cantler wants part of his salary paid from CVB funds.
If that's the case, when we're talking about taxpayer funds, it needs to be very clear and tangible.
Hunter said he thinks the Chamber should repay the loan as soon as possible and that all the matters should be addressed in the MOA.
I think we're going to talk about that next week in the commission chambers. Maybe some guidelines that can help make sure that the funds provided by the taxpayer to the CVB go to the exact intended purposes.
Hunter said he hopes the commission can take up the MOA issue at its June 18th meeting. In Johnson City, Jeff Keeling, News Channel 11.